Hello, whoever's watching this. I don't have anybody join to the meeting right now, uh, but I'm recording this, and so hopefully some people are watching it. This is a kind of just a demo of what I do in Dorico, uh, as requested by one of my friends, and I'm looking to kind of prepare for uh, conducting two next semester. So uh, I'm going to sort of transcribe excerpts, probably just two excerpts today. Here it is. So I just scanned this page, so it's just going to be right on the computer, and I didn't scan it very fancy. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this. We'll start with example 2.1. And I'm going to put it into Dorico, sort of transcribe it. You can follow at least my process for doing that. You can see it's only, what is it, 8 measures? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep. And I'm going to show you kind of from the beginning. I think I have some defaults set up, but like I won't be using a template that's all ready to go or anything like that. I'm going to add all the instruments. I'm going to tweak some settings here and there. So you'll see that. And I'm going to use the keyboard shortcuts pretty heavily. I do have, if you look in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, I have installed a keyboard, a key press shower. I don't know what the technical term is. An app that shows you what keys I'm pressing. So hopefully you can follow along. I'm going to talk a little bit about them also. Um, and that's part of my process for working more quickly. I strongly believe, I know I'm not alone in this, but I think for pretty much all apps, there are so many situations where if you can stick to the keyboard, you can work a lot more quickly than actually moving the mouse and finding those spots. And also you don't have to dive into menus as much and stuff like that. Excuse me, take a sip. That said, I don't know 100% of the Dorico keyboard shortcuts. So there are a few things, like I'm trying to remember, I think I might know what it is for fermata. You can see we have a fermata at the end of this one. So we'll find out when I get there how ready I am for fermata. And I'll talk a little bit about how I'm doing this. So Dorico, I just opened up Dorico. I bypassed all the, like it launches the audio thing and all that kind of stuff. Actually, real quick, pretty much every time, it seems like every time I launch Dorico. Let me do this a little more slowly. This is a Mac Dorico preferences. I don't know exactly where it is on Windows, but it's the same thing. You should get this thing, preferences, and then you go to play and you scroll all the way down, audio device setup. Actually, I do think this can be pretty different on Windows. So because of this, I'm gonna go, normally I would go, I have headphones on. Why does it not show? Well, so, oh, because built in, okay, so if I wanted the headphones, then I would go like this, and then I would go in here, and I would say external headphones. But in this case, I'm gonna go zoom audio device, and then make sure, yeah, and there's nothing to choose here. So hopefully you should hear what I'm hearing. And then I think, yeah, so I've chosen no performer as a default playback template. I think that the normal default playback template, if you don't have no performer, is this one in the most recent Iconica sketch, HS O'Halley, etc. So you're going to see, sorry, you're going to hear no performer. No performer is much better than the included, but it doesn't really matter. I like to hear the notes as I'm entering them to make sure that they sort of sound like what I'm trying to enter, right? Like if I hear something that sounds like way outside the tonality, then I feel like, oh, maybe I made a mistake. So it's just like an extra check on like the work that I'm doing. So you can see my recent things, sort of transcribing Game of Thrones for a student, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to create new, and I'm going to go empty because there isn't really like these excerpts, which are actually written by Vincent Apado, I think, who is a Mason alumni from the composition department. these are sort of it's like flex ensemble kind of, right? So it's like just the transpositions. So there's no, built-in ensemble. So I'm going to go empty, and then I'm going to add stuff, and then I'm going to call this conducting nuances exercises. I'm going to try to spell Vincent's name correctly. So this, I definitely don't need this. In fact, I'm going to undo these, and I don't know, I'll just put one here because I want to show you like kind of how it goes when I'm doing these kinds of excerpts. I did this stuff with what's it called? So I just created a thing, and you could do all that data that I just entered. You can enter it later if you don't know what you want to title it when you start. That's probably obvious, but just in case. So I'm going to add ensemble, which is going to, you might think like, why? And it's because of this. So we have build and choose. If I hit escape, it takes me back, right? So I could go and I could add single player, single player, single player. I could click this, add somebody, click it again, add some, oh, it already added somebody. So I'm just going to delete that. Delete player and part layouts. It makes a part layout over here. So, but I'm going to do it quicker because, so this is like, you could choose like, I don't know. Can you choose? I've never actually chosen. How come there's no like symphony orchestra here? I don't really understand, but I'm going to build it from scratch. Now, obviously I can't say, give me a C instrument, give me a random B flat instrument. So I'm going to choose example instruments. I'm actually going to choose stuff that I know is, like people are going to be in the class next semester. Oh, I lost my window. Yeah. All right. So I know that violin's going to be in there. I actually know violin, viola, and cello. I'm pretty sure. I think, yeah, I think I know a cello player is going to be in it. So that is, we need a C clef, we need an alto clef, we need, I'm going to do 2 bass clef instruments. I'm not sure what the other one's going to be besides cello. We also need B flat. I think I'm going to put in oboe. And so once you've got it here, you can just hit comma and add it. And maybe, yeah, let me go back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically search for what I want. And I could do this, right? And then I could do comma, and I could type in viola and then comma, and then yeah, it takes it a while to find that. It's weird. I think if I do this, does it do it? Yeah, it's weird. Or as soon as I type violin, it's like, do you want this? Do you want 2 violins and cello? Do you want violin, viola, cello? I'm going to pick that. That's what I want. I also want an oboe, although I'm going to recommend that my friend who plays oboe, maybe we'll do English horn, because I don't think we have a French horn player who's going to be, so it'd be nice to have somebody playing F clef. I also don't know if there's going to be any saxophones. So, but we do have an E flat clef that I want to transcribe. So I'm going to say alto sax. And here you can see I have to, there we go. All right, we do have B flat clarinet. There will be a trumpet player. So, and then what do we have left? So that's the clefs. Yeah. And then we just need another bass instrument. I'm gonna say trombone. I don't think. Ooh, why is it not doing that? See, this is the thing. This interface is pretty cool. Oh, because I left out the R. There we go. And I can always, add instruments one at a time after this. So you can see now that I have, and of course they're not in the order that we want. So, and now that no performer knows what instruments to render, it's gonna add those. Oh, I forgot the F instrument. So yeah, so I'm just gonna go here and I will do English horn on the because I'm 99% sure there won't be a French horn player, but there will be an English horn player who will just say, don't play oboe. So I'm gonna do some weird things here. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these kind of in order. So you notice we have octaves in this treble part. So I'm gonna put a violin up here, and then I'm gonna leave the oboe there. I'm gonna put clarinet here. So, because I want C, B flat, then I want alto saxophone. Then what is it, viola? Yeah, it's a little bit weird. Um, and then English horn is there. And then trumpet, I think cello we can more easily write. I don't think cello goes down that low. But yeah, I'll probably just write it and it just won't work. um, just so it's in there. So this, but like there's a bunch of things that you can see this is not exactly what we want. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put trumpet here, and then I'm actually going to remove it. So this is one of the cool things about Dorico. So here are the parts, the players, the like humans ostensibly with instruments, and then here are the layouts, which are the things that are going to get printed. So I'm actually going to take trumpet out of the full score for now. Like we just won't have it in the final product. Trombone, why is trombone? Oh, I don't want that. So I'm gonna go, see how it's like B flat and treble clef? So I'm gonna go change instrument, and we should get multiple options for trombone. C bass clef, transpose pitch change. There we go. Okay. So and let's do one more thing. Well, we're going to do several more things. So the next thing that I'm going to do, and you could do these in any order, is I'm going to actually rename these things. So when I do like a flex ensemble or something like this, I'm adding these instruments so that I'll hear things and then I'll get the clefs and the transpositions like sort of built in. But I don't want the names. I don't want it to say violin and then clarinet, etc. I want it to be yeah, this is going to be interesting, but I want it to kind of have the name. So I'm just going to edit the names like for this kind of thing. And this is again totally like when I do flex, this is what I do. I'm going to see if I can. I think this is probably not going to actually work for me. It's going to say C like 2. It's going to automatically say, oh, you have 2 instruments named C. Yeah. Let's see what happens if I remove oboe from the full score also. It still says C1. So I'm going to go. I don't know if I'm going to fold this in later or not. I was thinking of like having both of them and then condensing to one so that we would see this, but I might just type it in. That way you can see me do 2 voices. So, so now our score is starting to look a little closer to what we want. Ooh, okay. Ooh. So here I'm gonna choose follow layout options. Um, and instead of always, or like let's say I want to show the transposition, right? Um, but I want to show all the transpositions. So I'm actually going to turn that off, and and this is like a thing for Dorico. Like it really helps to go into the bigger option, right? So this will only affect the clarinet part, but I want to affect all the parts. I want all the transpositions to show. So I'm going to do Shift, look in the lower right, Shift, Command L. This is one of my very commonly used commands to go to layout options. This layout is the full score layout, I think. Yes. So I'm choosing which layout option I'm changing over here. So I'm on the full score layout, and I want to show, and of course I show change labels. Where is it? Oh, these are change labels. Stats and systems. Okay, it's going to be in here. Instrument picture transposition, show in full, show in abbreviated. So if I go start, here's why I'm choosing start, because I don't want in. So at the end, so if the transposition is at the end, it's going to say clarinet in B flat. If I say start, it's going to say B flat clarinet. Now, the other way to do it is to say, is if I do show in parentheses, it's going to say clarinet parentheses B flat parentheses, which I think is what I usually go for. But in this case, I want to do something specific. So I'm going to say start. And I think that's it. And here's what this is going to give me. Oh, I got to go in and uncheck parentheses because I thought that's not what I want. So again, Shift Command L, look in the lower right. Here we go. So I'm going to go and uncheck this start. It should just say B flat clarinet, no parentheses. Yes, that's what I want. You're going to notice saxophone doesn't. Oh, an English horn doesn't. That's funny. Yeah, so French horn would. We'll get to those. I'm surprised English horn doesn't. Saxophones, they by default they don't. But I'll show you how to like make them conform. Like you probably can already guess. So the way I'm going to get B flat here is I'm going to edit names. I'm just going to like make it a space, right? And then I should get just B flat, right? So now let's go trumpet. We removed from this thing. Let's go to alto sax. And we're going to go edit names and see how this says never show the transposition. So now I'm following layout options. I don't know. So again, I can just do a space, and there's my E flat. Viola, what is it? It's A period, C period. I think that's a little strange, but what can you do? Edit names, A period, C period, A period, C period. English horn, we're going to do the same thing we did with sax, which is we're going to say follow layout options. There might be a faster way to do this, but so this setup stuff, like you just do it once, and you'll see. I'm going to use flows, and you'll see how flows work. Oh, you know what? Watch this. I wonder if this is going to work. We'll try it. Naming this two spaces. Oh my God. So it's a hack, obviously. Is there a don't show? Is there a don't show name? I don't think so. I don't think there's a don't show name. So this might be the best way to like not have a name and just have the transposition. Now, of course, you could say, Todd, why don't you just name it the transposition? Actually, one answer for that is these flat symbols, which look really nice like this, like if I show the transposition, they appear automatically. If I edit into the name, I'm not 1,000% sure how to get the flat symbols to look really pretty in the names. All right, so trombone. Actually, I think I'm going to hide trombone from the layout, and we're just going to do just like we're going to do for the C clef. We're going to just do two voices on the bass clef instead of consolidate. At some point, I want to show consolidation. Consolidation is cool, but it's it's not right for this workflow because the workflow is supposed to be really fast. Is this BC? Yeah. And consolidation is kind of slow. It's where you really you're really doing it so that you have a more usable score for the director. Okay, since I'm here, now there's some other stuff I want to do, but I'm going to do it in another view. So right off the bat, we have setup, write, engrave, play, print. I pretty much never use play, even though that's supposed to be one of the cool features of Dorico. Anyway, but I want to make some changes in engrave mode, and you might say like, oh, why do we have to have these modes, blah, 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 blah. And I'm kind of on board with you. And at the same time, sorry about the dog, the modes help sort of separate different things that we're going to do. I personally think that the thing that I'm going to do in engrave mode here should be in setup mode. I mean, it's in a way, I understand why it's in engrave mode. Anyway, we'll get to it. You'll see it. You like just to pregame, we have these brackets, and these brackets are way wrong. So I'm just going to change the brackets. But before I do that, since I'm in setup mode right here, I know I'm going to do example 2.1 high horizontal plane. Depending upon how fast this goes, I'm going to do example 2.2 high horizontal plane today. and I'm going to have all these examples in here, but I'm going to make them separate flows. I'm going to automatically get a double bar line at the end of each flow, and it's really easy and it's really cool to use flows. So if you haven't used flows, this is going to be your crash course in flows. So I'm going to set up the first two flows right now, and then as I do more of these exercises, I'll just add another flow. So I'm going to change this to stay, instead of flow one, I'm going to say example. What is it? I'm going to actually replicate like if I were engraving this for the book, is kind of how I just can't tell if I spelled it wrong. High horizontal plane. And then I'm going to copy that. And then this is just the new flow button. Kaboom. And then this is example 2.2, high horizontal plane. So now I have two flows. However, you might see that we didn't. So we have these two pages, but I want the label, right? So the way I do that is I go back into, I did the Shift Command L thing. And this is like, of all the dialogues, I think I spend more time in this one than anything else. Let's see, page setup is where flows is. Now you're supposed to be able to go if you forget where flows is. Yeah. So I type flow, takes me here. Here we go. Show flow headings never for all flows. And then there is, I think that's good enough for now. If there's anything else we want to change, we'll come back. And then there's one thing that I want to do, which is I want to get rid of these numbers. That also is a thing that I would change about Dorico, is that there would be a better way to get rid of those numbers. But there isn't. You're going to see the non-awesome way to get rid of them. So two things that we want to fix before we actually start entering. Well, two things that I want to fix. Actually, three things. Let me save this. I'm going to save it. You can see my file organization system. Production files. Yeah, that's like the nerdiest name. I don't know. It's what I do. School. And I'm going to add, I don't have a Spring 25 folder yet. So hooray, new Spring 25 folder. New folder. Why is there conducting one folder outside of the fall 24 folder? What? How did that happen? Okay, well, that's something for me to fix some other time. Here we go. Conducting nuances exercises can go in here. So that's saved. The two more things, I want to fix the bracketing. And actually, I'm going to say right now, I'm not 1,000% sure how to have no bracket on base clef, but I think it's going to automatically do it. And then I want to fix the numbers. So both of those in grave mode is where we do that. I think page templates are going to come in more in a later video. This is really more about entering music quickly and just other things. If there are people on this Zoom who are asking questions, I would dive into whatever they wanted to talk about. But so let me slow down a little bit. So the page template controls, like, so there's a first page template and there's a default page template, and you can see that the first page is different because it has the title and the composer, and then the other pages have the title and small, blah 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 blah. But the not all pages have flow headers. So the flow heading is actually a separate little template doohickey, and it's the only thing that gets its own little category. It's flow headings. So you go into flow headings, and when you do that, make this change. This changes how all flow headings are going to look. So the flow title is called a text token. It means it's going to grab that flow title and make it part of the flow heading. And then the flow number, as you saw, it was on there also, but I don't want it. So I changed the template, and boom, now all the flow headings have the updated flow heading template. Now, even though this says default, it's only in this project that I made that change. So what I could do is export this, I think. Rename flow heading. I thought, maybe it goes with the page template set if I make a change. That's a good question. I don't know. I've never tried to like export that so that all my flow headings have no number. Sometimes I do want the number, so that's one reason not to do it. Yeah, so the other thing that would be cool is if you could tell it different formats for the number, right? So like there, it's like Arabic with a dot. But what if I want like the first flow to be flow Roman numeral 1? As far as I know, you can't do that. You have to get rid of the Arabic numeral with the dot, and then you have to name the flow Roman numeral one, and then you make the flow heading show the name. So that's kind of annoying. Dorico's not perfect, and I apologize for all the imperfections, especially to the people who um, are finale refugees, if you don't mind the term. That's probably not a good term to use. All right, so here's what I've done. I've just gone in and selecting things in engrave mode can be annoying. I'm sure we'll come back to that at some future time. But I've selected like two elements from the first two stabs, and then I'm just going to hit this. And it's going to bracket them together. And then what am I doing? The next three together. So I'm going to go, and I don't think I have to select in between. I can just, oops. So I'm using command to select. So you can shift select, but command select kind of works better in a lot of situations, Dorico. Bracket there. If I do this and I say that, it just adds a bracket. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to Google that. You might be thinking like, oh, why are we doing this? I don't know. I think it's, and the other thing is once I've got this set up, everything is just going to go, right? So let's see how Googling things for Dorico goes. Dorico remove bracket. I don't know what bracketing archives is. Deleting bracket, complete turn off. No, that's not what we want. So I think this is going to say, yeah, so it's also to, oh, you know what I might be able to do? All right, let's try a hack. We're gonna command, sorry, I accidentally hit option, command select, we're gonna bracket, but then I'm gonna do this. And if it orphans it, all right, I kind of don't care at this point. It's like too much. You cannot move bracket. Deleting, no, that's deleting a change. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to my bookmarks. Oh, no, it's not here. Music in school get mixed up because I'm in music school. Somewhere in here is Dorico documentation. I need to organize this better. You see I have too much random stuff. Oh, is it this? And it's the updated. Yeah, I think this is right. Yeah, so Dorico Pro Help has got a version chooser, which it should have always been like that, and they should just delete the 2.2 stuff so when you Google you don't find it. But in any case, so here's what you really want. Cyber Help, Dorico Pro, 5.1 EN. I mean, I don't know. So let's go bracket. Well, let's go to this section and see if we can. Oh, yeah, table of contents. Oh, return to table. That's what I want. Okay. Sub brackets, secondary brackets, project-wide engraving options for brackets. Show hiding braces on single stabs. Oh, it's a layout option. Okay. So where are we going? We're going layouts, brackets and braces is a whole category. Right there. I'll say, okay. Oh yeah, we can look. Instruments of the same kind, secondary bracket, bracket groups, only one instrument. No bracket. I think this is what we want. Fudgesicle. Why? What if I do this? What? Oh, because like, oh, look, it's different for the flows. How did I? Okay, wait. So now if I go here and I go, deleting bracket and bar line changes. Engrave mode graphic editing, select the bracket and bar line change signpost. So engrave mode. Oh, bracket bar line change signpost. Kaboom. All right. So now I can custom bracket easily. So again, I'm using command to select bracket, command, command, click bracket. Okay. And then I guess I have to do this. Oh, but I know a way to make it so you don't have to do this for every other flow. So once you've got like a flow set up that you like, and I could have done this, probably should have. So I should have done this first and then gone back. But so like what I can do now, I can go in, what is it? It's this, where's it? Duplicate flow, right? So then, and also I can just go like this. Instead of having to copy paste the text, I can go 2.3, and I think this is medium horizontal plane. But in any case, so now see, it copied my bracket bar line changes. Actually, I wonder if you can select and copy paste the signpost. You might be able to. Now, signposts are cool. They show you like what you've got when it's hidden. You know, it's not a visible thing, but they also are annoying. So I'm going to go, wait, where is it? It's view, of course. That makes sense. And I'm going to say hide signposts. So so now we have that. So now we have these things. I don't remember if 2.3 is medium horizontal plane or if it's more high horizontal plane. All right, 25 more minutes in the hour. We're going to actually start entering some music. We're going to try to do it fast. So need a sip of tea. Oh, you might be wondering, why am I not doing example 1.1? The examples start in chapter 2 in conducting nuances. So there are no 1 point whatever examples. We'll do a save real quick. I think there's an auto save that happens in Dorico, but and on Mac, you probably already know this, but there's the little, if the dot appears in there, then it means you have unsaved changes. So normally I would have a music stand set up sort of near me, and the paper copy of the sheet music would be on that, but I want you all to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna make my screen, and there's probably some Mac power user out there, or even just casual Mac user who's like, Todd, why are you doing this? There's a way to automatically blah, blah, blah. I'm sure there is, and I probably have done it in the past and just forgot, and too bad for you that you have to watch me do it this way. All right. I'm not going to add them all at the same time, so I don't need to see literally all of the lines of music. All right, so here, hopefully most of you are here for this part. This is, I'm going to do some note entry. Now, before I do note entry, so I've got basically blank music, but with the instruments there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm kind of scanning the music. So like, I want to say like, I've got two flats. Is it in B flat major or G minor? Right? Yeah. Okay. So Dr. Levengood hopefully is not watching this. So, but it's in B flat major because it starts and ends on, or it starts on D, but like, yeah, it ends on B flat in the treble. I'm sure it's in B flat major. So, and this is, you know, this is also score study, right? Like for the conducting of it. So, and here's why I want to know, because I'm going to go Shift K to enter a key signature, and I'm just going to go capital B, lowercase b. The capital B means it's a major key. The lowercase b is the flat. Ta-da, two flats, transpositions all right, done. Now I'm going to do Shift M, and this is for meter as opposed to time signatures. You can see the pop-up, so it's Shift M. So these are like keyboard shortcuts you can memorize. And actually, I think that for the next keyboard shortcut, I'm going to tell you what it is, but I'm going to do it a different way. If you are not a keyboard shortcut memorizer, this is sort of a different way to use the keyboard to get things done fast. So anyway, I'm entering a meter. It is 4/4. If you want to enter like slight digression, if you do this and you do like what 3 plus 2 plus 2 or whatever, so what is that, 7, and then you do and you /8, then you'll get 7/8, but with this grouping. Now what it won't do is automatically put the grouping above, like near where the tempo is to tell, you know, but it will beam eighth notes automatically for you. So this is a pretty cool popover, just 4/4. This is also a place where you put a pickup measure. I'm sure we'll have an opportunity to show that in one of these examples. So now we have 4/4 time. And I'm going to do the other way. So you can do Shift T to enter tempo, but I'm going to go, what is it? Is it just I? No. Okay, that's insert mode. It's not I at all. It's J. Yes, this is called the jump bar. don't know why it says engraving options here. And I'm going to say tempo. Create tempo. And there. So it's like if you don't remember, like I think for T tempo, that's not so bad. On Dante, I'm gonna just go ahead and say Q. Now, again, if I were engraving this for Professor Maiello, I wouldn't want the metronome mark. So you can go down here. So this thing, when you have something selected, this little doohickey down here gives you a bunch of options. We'll probably go into that at some point for other things too. But that's like, if you're like, oh, I don't even know. It's really helpful for dynamic marks, stuff like that, for adjusting things. So that's this little, and you can see, and one of the nice things is that I could change this and it will change the playback tempo, and it still won't show the metronome mark. You can also just say metronome mark only and no text. And you can do an abbreviation. You can do cool. You can't do literally anything that you want, but you do a lot of stuff, and it keeps it sort of like organized, and these options can be set for different layouts. So you could have it show one way on the score and a different way on the parts. Maybe not something you want to do for tempo, but sometimes there are things that you want to show differently. So let's enter some notes. We're kind of ready to go. So what I'm going to do, I started off in Dorico literally just entering the notes, and then I would go back and do slurs, and then I'd go back and do dynamics and everything. I think I'm going to do slurs in the middle. I'm going to do a little bit of dynamics. I'm not going to do the hairpins. Oh, we're going to get to do, yeah, we're going to see some interesting things. So just in this first example. So I'm going to do slurs while I do it, and the first dynamic while I do it, but I'm not going to do hairpins while I do it. And frankly, I'm not 100% sure how to do hairpins while I enter notes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do Shift N, enter note entry mode. Whoa, this is weird. Okay, yeah, this thing right here is my smallest note resolution. Eighth note is fine, like for navigating, right? So if you kind of can't see, if you see these little orange lines, it's like sort of I forgot something. I want to add measures. I know this is 8 measures. I want to add all the measures. So I'm going to do Shift B for bar lines, and I'm going to do 7. It's going to add 7 more measures to the existing measure. So yeah, and you can see this is called the system track. You can also hide this. It doesn't print, probably, obviously. But if you wanted to delete a measure, you can just go in here and do that. And you can add measures in here and all that kind of stuff. But like, we can tell this is measure 8. So now I'm going to go back here and enter note entry mode. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm in note entry mode. I'm going to Shift D for dynamics, MP, enter. So I'm starting off with mezzo piano. If you look really closely here, you can see this little upstem thing next to the cursor. If I move the cursor, you can see the upstem follows it. That means I'm entering into the default upstem voice. Obviously, it's going to matter as we get up to here and start adding the second voice. But I'm just going to do one voice at a time. Not actually sure how to do 2 voices. It might not be possible. Oh yeah, I think we're going to do some cool stuff with this right off the bat. Okay, so I know the numbers that match the note durations, and unlike Finale, if you're a Finale person, like you probably, you do the note, you choose the note, and then you enter the duration, and it makes the note. So there's a way to change Dorico to work very close to that. I think it's not 100% identical, but it's very close. That's not how I do it. I do it sort of the default Dorico way, which means I choose a duration, and then I enter notes with that duration. And then I change duration if I need to. So I'm going to do 7 for a half note, and then I'm going to do D. Boy, that was a little loud. Also, it's 2 octaves too low. So I'm going to Option, Command, and I don't remember what it is on PC, but Option, Command, up arrow. Now I've got the right octave. I'm going to hit S to start a slur from that note. So it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit after the fact, right? So you enter a note, and then you say S, and you're going to start the slur from that note. Now I'm going to go 6 to go back to quarter notes, and we're going to go C, and then D again, and now I'm going to Shift S to end that slur. And if you watch over here, the slur goes away. You watch it again when I enter the next measure because we've got slurs. 7, D, S for slur, C, Shift S N slur. Hit the dot to get a dotted half note because I'm already on a half note. Oh, the period. I just hit the period on the keyboard. Now we're gonna do a D, start a slur. Ugh, oh, that's ugly. We'll do something about that. Then we're gonna go 6 for a quarter note, and we're gonna do a C, and then we're gonna go 7 dot, and we're gonna go back to D, and we're gonna Shift S for slur, and now I'm just gonna right arrow and get to that next thing. 7 dot. I'm already on 7 dot. I'm gonna do G, and I gotta go down an octave. S to start slur. 6 G, 7 G, F, Shift S, and finally, yeah, I'm gonna do this way. I'm gonna say 8 for a whole note, and I'm gonna go B and B, and we're gonna come back and tie them together later. Yeah, let's try this. So I think so I just hit escape to exit. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, it does do escape. I'm gonna try to put the fermata in right now, and I'm gonna Shift H. Yeah, and then I think I just type. Yeah, okay. So now in this case, I think everybody's got a whole note, so the fermata is gonna be fine. Sometimes you have fermatas that, that not all the note values are the same by default, and like you have to work on that in Dorico. It doesn't do it automatically. The fact that this didn't squeeze into a page, I might come back to that, but it's okay. Obviously, it spaced out these first 2 measures really wide. All right, so let's do the next thing. I'm going to do something that I've never done before, which is, I think it's Shift I -8. Wow. Okay, so you want to replicate everything. So there's another way to do it here. I'm going to Control Z or Command Z. So the other way to do this is you copy. So you Command C on Mac, and then you hit Q to go into chord mode where you can enter 2 notes, and then you paste. And then now you just pasted like unison chords, and then you Shift Command Option to go down an octave, right? But that's a whole bunch of steps. So what if we do undo that? All right, I undid select. So it's weird. Selection is a thing that you can undo in Dorico. I don't know. So again, I'm just gonna go Shift I -8. So if you wanted to like double at a third, you do Shift I3. Okay, but this should be in a different voice, right? So I think, what is it, Shift V to add a voice? Yeah, cool. Oh, why did I lose all my, it stole all of my, oh, because they were selected. Okay, so what if I want to deselect all the slurs and I don't want to command click a slur, all the slurs to like here, watch, I could do this. Ugh, no, we're not doing that. So I'm going to go edit, filter, notes and chords. Just give me all the notes. So no rests, no dynamics, no slurs. And now I'm going to Shift V to create the second voice and add those to the second voice. So now you're like, oh, but Todd, now you need to add slurs for the second voice. That's true. This is a true statement. So if I guess I have to do this. So what I'm going to do is why? Oh, it shouldn't. I feel like it should. All right, so I'm just command selecting. There's probably a better way to do this, and I just don't know it. So sometimes, you're making the trade. Oh, I hit S to get the slur. I think I can just do first and last. Yes, I think that works. Yeah. Let's see what happens if I tie these. I'm gonna hit T. Oh, cool. I think that works because of the bar lines. All right, and then last thing, I'm gonna put these on the first voice. Oh, well, here's a good question. If I, so D, and then I'm just do a greater than sign. Okay, now that greater than sign's a little long, right? So I'm gonna, this is like one of the coolest things in Dorico, or the most powerful things maybe. On Mac, I don't honestly, it's Option Shift, and that changes the length of the thing that you have when you hit the arrow keys, right? that's probably good. You can see like we have a very different engraving style going on here. And this is now gonna like actually, you know, I'm gonna turn this into 16 notes because we're gonna go like this, and this is gonna look weird. Yeah. So the first thing I'm gonna do, well, I'm gonna do Option without Shift and right arrow, and it's gonna every time I hit the right arrow once, it moves it 1/16 note later in time. So it looks like that's about a quarter note in, and so now it's kind of what I think is intended. It's a little bit of a vague crescendo or a hairpin, a crescendo. And there we go. Oh, we don't have tempo up here, so but I'm just go ahead and enter it. So Shift T. I'm gonna go retardando, and I'm gonna say give me a retardando, and that's for the playback, but I don't want it to look like that. So I'm gonna go in here, and I'm gonna say use an abbreviation. The abbreviation I want you to use is rit, and line style, I think none. Why do I not have a, I think it might be a, so you see I got the writ. Let's go engrave. Don't know why. Hmm. I mean, there is a way to just not have the line, but I want, ah, okay, change the gradual style to writ. Interesting. As opposed to retardando or writ with a dash line. So now there's no line. So that's, I knew it was in there somewhere. And we're going to go back to write mode. You can't add notes in write mode. Oh, the gradual style was there all along. I just didn't know that's what it was. All right, pretty good, right? So we have our first two lines. We made two voices. If you go down here, it says downstem voice one. So down here is where you find out which voice you're in. All right. So now what I'm going to do this. I want to make this B flat line. The B flat line is doubling. Yeah. Yeah, it's doubling the lower line, but I don't want it to be in voice two. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to edit, filter, oh no, sorry, edit, select to end of flow. So now I have everything, including dynamics, which I kind of want to copy. And then I'm going to edit, filter, deselect only, edit, filter, voices, downstem voice one. Okay, and so then copy and click here and paste. And I got all that, and then I just need to go down an octave. Oh, look, okay, so I'm going to go, interesting. So, and then I need to go, yeah. Sometimes if you're, like what I'm trying to do is this, which is a really interesting way to audition. If you're like, so I go to the second note and I hit a back arrow. Bum, 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 bum. But I could do this. I'm just holding down shift and then do my octave down. And so now I have the part. So it's not literally doubling, which is interesting. I think in the first book, the B flat part is like exactly like the C part, like the whole time. I think so. Well, this is pretty good. Actually, let's see if we can just finish this in 8 minutes. Yeah, these might actually be the same too. So, kind of cool thing here. I'm going to enter this the transpose pitches, right? So we're going to go note entry, dynamic piano, 6 and D, 7, B, 6, D. I'm going to go over 4 because I'm on 16th notes now. 5 for 8th notes. Shift D, MF, G. Go up an octave, start a slur, go F, 6, E, F, and the slur. 5 to go to 8th notes. G, start a slur, F, E, D, and the slur 7, D, right? D, dot the half and go E, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, get to the next measure. I think you can tab to the next measure. 5 for eighth notes, D and P for dynamic. We're gonna do an A, and of course it's high, go down an octave, start a slur, B, 7, C, and the slur, it's automatically, yeah, watch, it's gonna undo the tied quarters as soon as I enter the next quarter because it thinks that's good engraving practice, which I'm not disagreeing with. I'm just saying, ooh, oh, wait a second. 6. Oh, it's showing the middle of the bar, right? Somewhere Sebastian is like, Todd, it's showing the middle of the bar. Always show the middle of the bar. Yeah. You can override that, but I might leave it. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. Um, cause like, do you copy exactly, or do you not copy exactly? You know what? I think I'm accidentally looking at alto clef sometimes, so I'm gonna do that. Okay. Where are we? 7 for half notes. E, start a slur. D, end the slur. 8 for whole notes. And this is not, so that's, wait, that's a slur, not a tie. How bizarre. So now I'm going to hit plus D, and I get that D sharp. And then I'm just going to hit D again. I should get a D natural. If I really needed to force natural, I would hit 0 for natural, and minus is flat. So, okay, that is that. And the only thing that looks different is this. And now you can go into engrave mode and change that. I'm going to actually shift and get all of this because I'm pretty sure it's very, very close to the alto clef part. Oh, I tried to hit down arrow to go down the alto clef. It didn't let me. All right, well, whatever. All right, now let's find out what's wrong. Okay. So we have the same tied doohickey. Oh, I didn't put slurs here. So I can actually slur both of these at once. Just select it all, hit S. It knows you can't slur from one part to another, so it doesn't try. It just gives me slurs. All right, let's see about the F part. Let's paste the F part, and if it's not right, we'll fix it because it's pretty close. Looks like it is the same. It's a little disappointing in terms of the composition, but we don't know, like, what instruments we're going to have, so at least this middle line of music. All right, 4 minutes to enter, and I'm probably like have this smaller than it needs to be. Hopefully nobody's on like a really tiny monitor. I'm not on a big monitor. I'm just on my laptop, but I guess my laptop is a little bit big, so here, let's do that. And then we can also do this. And you notice, like, as it's sort of rearranged things as I've entered more music, this now looks less crappy. Um, yeah, I don't know if it makes sense to try to fit it all on one page or not. The actual book is bigger than 8.5 by 11, and this is an 8.5 by 11 page. So, oh, you know what? Look at this. No, it's different. Oh, we got lots of interesting things going on here. So I don't know if a cello is really going to do this right, but I'm just going to add dynamics into voice 1, and then voice 2 will have no dynamics. So I'm going to go N for note entry, 6 to confirm, F, yep, 7, F, 6, F, G, 7, G, this is really easy, G, F, 7, F, 6, F, 7 dot 0, B to get a B natural. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait. Tab? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. I think there's a better way to do that, but I don't know what it is. G, 7, G, 6, G, 7, B, slur, A, N slur, and then 8 plus D, slur, and then just D. Yeah. And you can hear how N slur escape to exit note entry mode. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I don't think I did a piano at the beginning. So, yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, it's a weird part. Okay, so now I'm gonna go, let's see, I'm going here, going note entry, and I want to shift V. Ah, see, it says plus and then stem down. 8 for duration, B. We gotta drop it down an octave. Okay, so now I'm gonna do Q for chord mode, and I'm gonna do an E, and I'm gonna go down an octave with this E, and when I enter the next E, it's automatically gonna be above. It builds chords bottom to top. Oh, and then an easy way to like advance is you turn off chord mode, and it says, oh, I have to go to the next thing. So 7 dot, B, yep, A, oops, 6, A, 7 dot G, and it kind of knows the line that I'm following. Obviously, I can always do that octave shift thing. Um, Sometimes it guesses badly. It's probably going to get this F wrong. Yeah, so shift it down an octave, and then it's probably going to get this B flat correct, or B natural. Yeah, and then Q for chord mode, and I'm going to drop it to the lower one. Yeah, it's interesting the original doesn't have the courtesy accidental for the low B flat. Oh, you can see, by the way, that do the oops. I gotta use command slur, get that slur in there, and there's no other slurs. And that's it. So that's the whole music. It is now 6 o'clock. Let's actually listen to it. This is gonna be Note Performer, not Dorico. Cool. So I can just make like a bunch of MP3s, stick them on my phone, and listen to them as I drive to campus, to and from campus, and memorize the audiation of each excerpt so that when I'm conducting, it's in the score's in my head instead of my head in the score. Cool. So Dorico Crash Course. Hopefully people will have a chance to watch this and come up with some questions, and maybe request something different, totally different, slightly different, next time I do this. If you actually watched all this, thank you. All right, bye.